and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Late Night Legends. I'm your host, DJ DeVille, and we've got some great people in the building today. We got Exile, we got the legend in the building, Club Killers legend, JD Live, and Pittsburgh's finest. Welcome.
What's up?
Yay. We got Digital Dave. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Dave.
Actually, my Uber driver on the way here was from Pittsburgh. It was a Vegas transplant. Transplant from Pittsburgh.
See, I second guess myself. I would almost say Philly, and I know that's really bad.
Yeah, a lot of people make that mistake, and a lot of people don't know Pittsburgh and Philly are 5 hours from each other.
Yeah,
like we're closer to Cleveland, we're closer to Baltimore, DC, Buffalo. Like Philly's, because they're almost Jersey and we're almost touching Ohio.
See, yeah, that's wild. See, I did not know that because I failed geography. So, and I'm not on the East Coast as often as I should be. So it's I was like second guessing myself. I'm like, I got to say the right city. So yeah, Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Pittsburgh? I know we did a Club Killers meetup together in Cleveland. But
yes, I've never actually been.
You've never?
I've never actually been. We've attempted a couple times. But,
yeah, I know. Way back in the day, we tried to make it happen. But.
No, it's awesome, man. So welcome, and this is going to be an exciting episode because I want to make sure that nobody's in the dark about this, but me and Dave especially, like this is kind of like a fun boxing match because we agree on a lot.
Yes.
We agree on a lot, but we disagree on some very specific things, and I'm really excited to dive in. So, and obviously we're going to have a lot of fun talking about this, but my first question for you is, what are your top 3 favorite Pitbull songs?
I have to know the joke behind this because I'm barely joking.
So let's just say Dave is not on
everything.
Everyone's like, bro, what happened? Wait, what is the story behind this?
So he's not He's not a fan of Mr. Worldwide.
No?
He's not down with the Dale.
We're gonna clarify this from the jump. I am not a fan of people who like Pitbull songs. I have no beef with Pitbull.
This goes deep.
Do your thing, but like. To me,
you have to unpack this.
Pitbull and Flo Rida, it's like the McDonald's of music. It's like I want to play the filet mignon of music, and Pitbull and Flo Rida are.
But people like junk food, bro.
Fast food of music.
Yeah.
So wait, hold on. So,
but if you want an answer, if you want a real answer, I'm gonna probably say.
Yeah, you got to at least give me, even if you can't.
I'm gonna say, give me everything.
Okay, give me everything
Time
tonight.
of our lives, and anything, all the Neo. I love the non-Pitbull parts of Pitbull songs, like the Neo parts of the Pitbull songs.
No Pitbull edits coming out.
But I love
new Diddy edits.
So I actually in the 2000s when Pitbull first came out, like Bojangles, I loved like.
I was about to ask you that, the classic stuff.
Before he went I'm just going to bite all of the.
It was kind of like the Lil Jon era,
right? I mean the hotel room service, which I know is a huge throwback, but that was the first one because I love house music and I love the Nightcrawlers back in the day, and that was the first one that really killed me. I was just like, this is
you're
so
upset
corny.
About that one. I was excited.
The Kulos, the Bojangles,
I like those more hip hop, kind of Latin blend. The old school, Bojangles was a great one.
That was a banger.
And a lot of young people don't even know that era of Pitbull. Like they think Pitbull started at hotel room service.
Well, I would say it's definitely the synth pop era of Pitbull.
Yeah,
like the Mark Anthony's and all that kind of that whole era. I mean,
Timber was the worst to me. Timber
really?
was I actually like country. I grew up listening to country music. A lot of people don't know that. I literally grew up as a kid listening to country music. But to me, like that whole sound was just, he literally said in an interview, he saw how successful Wake Me Up was with Avicii, so he was going to kind of do a knockoff of that.
Oh, for sure. And even Flo Rida did the same thing. I mean, it was definitely an era of recycling and recycling and recycling. But I will tell you this, I'm down with the Dale. I mean, and it's funny because, dude, Mr. Worldwide has saved my sets a trillion times. And that just blows my mind. You refuse to play Pitbull in a set.
I don't refuse to play.
You literally, I will quote you. I should have had the receipt because this is like 2015.
Now we fact checking.
You said like I won't play Pitbull in a set, and maybe you have changed your ways.
Timber. No, that was specifically just yes. Me and Jay Spring from Remix Report. Okay. For those of you who are old enough, and shout out to JD. We have JD Live here, but there was also JD Jason Dawson, and they were residents at Shrine which just closed like a week ago. I don't know if you know that. Shrine just closed. Yeah, that was like a staple for years. But JD and Jay Spring had this site called Remix Report, and they did these little YouTube videos on it, and it was legit kind of like a podcast before any of this exists, or the Road podcast, or any DJ podcast.
They're still on YouTube. You can find them.
And me and Jay Spring got in a big debate about timbre. And
wow,
my saying was, I was like, I'm fine with if anyone else wants to play it, like by all means. But I'm like, I'm not playing it. I didn't play Call Me Maybe when it was new, because I thought, and funny enough, I played as a throwback, but I thought that was corny. And as a DJ, I feel like you need to believe in what you're playing, and what you're playing needs to, on some level, make you happy to relate to the crowd. Like, I feel like if you're not, you're faking the funk.
So, but okay, well, I want to back up to the first thing and say, what about Pitbull fans don't you like?
The fact that there's so little substance to the music. It's just to quote, shout out my Alex Nepa, who's one of my best friends. To quote Alex Nepa, Pitbull is the master of the family-friendly sexual innuendo. It's the perfect. It's the perfect way. You know,
here some egg whites.
Yeah, exactly. Here comes some egg whites.
Oh, Lord.
Pitbull is the master of the family-friendly sexual innuendo. Okay, and like all the 40-year-old white women love Pitbull. Like that's
yes.
Funny enough, I have dressed up as Pitbull for Halloween twice. Like white suit, white sunglasses,
with the Puerto Rican suit.
It's the only time I drank Bud Light. I went into character so much that I drank Bud Light. Because remember when Don't Stop the Party came out? He did like a campaign with Bud Light with it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So like I even drank, and I've never drank Bud Light before or since, but I drank Bud Light all night just to be authentic.
True. So that's the most ironic cosplay of all time. So ironic. So I would say, so what's the survival, just to cap that one off? So the one, if you had to pick one song that would still survive in your set today.
I mean, I'd say the Pitbull song I probably play the most today would probably be Time of Our Lives.
Yeah, I would say that's right up there. And give me everything tonight.
But I always did like Give Me Everything Tonight. Yeah. I was always, I love Neo. I always thought Neo, and I play still like a decent amount of Neo throwbacks. Closer hits well for me.
Those are the ones that are hitting the hardest.
Yeah.
I would say just that era, not just Pitbull obviously,
right.
but anything from that microcosm of like the Mark Anthony's, J-Lo's, the 2009 to 2014, would you say? Yeah. That pop music that wasn't on my radar at the time because I was so engulfed in standard EDM, like electro and dubstep. I didn't pay attention to it the first time around. Now it's, in a weird way, it's new to me, and I can stand it. Yeah. Because I was never a big pop 40 DJ through and through. I like remixing it, obviously, but I don't like just playing the OG cuts. Now I'm learning to appreciate the OG versions of songs in a whole new way. Wait, actually, that's something I want to ask you guys, because this, like, as far as a pivot point is, are you finding yourself, I've been talking to a lot of DJs about this, are you finding that you're playing more original cuts than remixes recently?
Yeah, I think so. I think the originals have more of a memory to bring back to people. Yeah. So, and you get lost in the kind of like the remixes and the bootlegs after when the drop comes. Yep. Compared to the energy
disorients the crowd a little bit.
For sure.
So I'm finding that people appreciate and stay engaged on the dance floor with originals more so lately. It's like this whole remix era that we've been in for so long still works to a point, but it's just sometimes great. Would you agree with that? Like,
yeah, I mean, I would say I pivoted probably around 2019, 2020. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's so much about venue. So if I'm playing in a club like Cavo, the bottle service place that I play at on Saturday nights in Pittsburgh, which has a giant light show and CO2 and stuff.
Popping.
Right. If I'm playing there, I'm playing remixes of songs because that's the environment, the appropriate environment. If I'm playing at a party bar or a wedding, I mean, I'm not touching remixes of songs because it's just based on kind of what your environment is. But I totally agree with JD that people recognize, they hear the beginning of the song and there's that instant connection with the song. Yep. But also, to go back to your point about playing those throwbacks you never played, I do feel like there are songs, and there are songs that are out now that this will happen to, that appeal to a younger crowd that aren't going out. And two huge artist examples are One Direction and Jonas Brothers. Mm-hmm. And those appealed to teeny boppers, to, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds back when they came out. So we weren't playing them in clubs because in 2015, like a 21-year-old didn't like One Direction.
Yeah, because it was on the Disney Channel.
A 13-year-old did, and now that 13-year-old is 21 or 22 or 23.
Yes. I want to piggyback off that. I have a Y2K party, and it's 18 plus, and all these 18-year-olds know all these songs. And you're right about them capturing, like they weren't old enough to hear all this stuff,
right,
and whatnot. And then, like you said, it loses its essence when you have a remix. The 18 and 20-year-olds or 20 whatever, it goes out the door once it's remixed and whatnot. So it does matter where you're playing at, and like you're saying right now, the era they were born in and whatnot. Versus when you're 21, I want to listen to Drake. I don't want to listen to One Direction. But now these 13, 14-year-olds are now 21, like you're saying. Yeah,
I mean, I get requests now for last 3 weddings I had. I got requests for Hillary Duff, and all 3. You were never, nobody was asking you for Hillary Duff when it was
when the rain comes down.
But now, Cheetah Girls.
I don't even know what that is.
No? Drake Bell. I found the way.
It's all the Disney.
I barely know about that.
It's a Disney era. It's a Disney pocket that these people are now 25, 24, right?
Yeah. If you're playing at like a party bar sing along place, I found a way. By Drake Bell from the Drake and Josh theme show.
Man, see, I'm a childless man in my 40s. This I have nothing to do with any of this music.
Well, that's a little bit before me.
And this is
I have no clue about any of this.
And like this is not something that it's like a go-to that I'm playing in every set. But like when I'm in the right moments, in the right spaces,
the instincts.
I like pivot to that direction. And
because what is it? The Drake and Josh theme song?
Yeah,
I mentioned this once before. Like Grody in Tampa, he drops it. The whole place erupts. Oh yeah, it's just hilarious.
It's going to take some time.
He plays that show bar.
It
just goes off. I'm like, what is this? He's like, you don't know this? I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
like,
I've literally played that at nights where I play 80% hip hop. And it's gone off.
No way.
Yes.
That's some strong instinct.
Well, hey, we all go to Disney and Nickelodeon. Think about it, just because you like hip hop, you know.
Yep.
So
okay.
Right, just because you like Drake and grew up on that doesn't mean that when you were a kid you still didn't watch.
Yeah.
Drake and Josh.
I get it. It's so funny that like I never equated like show tunes to DJing until recently. And
well, you never got the Fresh Prince? That song works.
Well, I do.
It's kind of like the
always
same.
play the mashup of it.
Like DJs back in the early 2000s, 90s would play the Cheers theme song.
Yes, I made a redrum of that when I first started editing, but I never played it unless it was like the end of the night. I'd use it as a closer. Yeah. But I never thought it was a novelty.
Would play the 90210 theme.
See, that's like late 90s, right?
I think AM would play like the Laguna Beach theme.
See, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
like,
but it has to make sense somehow. I mean, from a turntablist standpoint, they're doing it for a reason.
Correct.
It's a link in the chain. So I get it, and that's a cool novelty link in the chain. So now I want to reverse this psychology. So like we're talking about bringing songs into your rotation. What we were talking about earlier, like the Juice WRLD video you sent me on Instagram before the show, and that was another one. Like I've never been a Juice WRLD fan. I'm just going to trigger a lot of people. I've never been a fan. I think he sounds whiny. All songs sound depressing. And it's not a melodic key that I would want to play at a party. All the songs are in depressing key structure. And I'm just looking at it from a melodic standpoint. And I know there's so many obsessive Juice fans. I get it. It's just when you're talking about getting a little bit of joy out of playing for during your set, I get no joy out of that music. And so you obviously have to be some sort of a Juice WRLD fan at a base level to understand which ones probably are the best ones to play at parties. Because you were playing the video, and it's like, like it's a packed bar, or like a club or bar or whatever it looked like. And people are singing when you're dropping the fader.
Yeah.
But it's more the singing. There wasn't a lot of like, oh my God, this is lit. There's none of that. It's just like kind of like, oh, it's Juice WRLD song. It's another, like all Juice WRLD songs literally sound the same to me. So are you getting requests for these? Or are you playing them because you like them? Or what's your decision making with Juice WRLD? Because there's a lot, like you said, you don't like Juice WRLD either.
So to that point, I mean, what I'm seeing right now when I'm playing for so my Sunday night, it's a place called Flats, and it's a Sunday party. I took it over from someone else, but I've been playing this since 2017. Mm-hmm. So every Sunday outside a little bit of the pandemic, since 2017, I've been playing this party, and it's like the longest running weekday by years in Pittsburgh.
That's awesome.
And so right now, the big throwbacks that are hitting I'd say like 2014 to 2017 at this party, and so much of it is like the OG SoundCloud rap, like the Juice WRLDs,
and let's highlight this.
Like
this is
I Spy.
XXX.
I Spy will like.
Yes, I would agree with that.
People will
like
lose their minds to that.
Rolex
All the A Boogie, like the Drowning, My Shit.
Rolly, all that shit.
Yeah.
So let's highlight the fact that you're calling a throwback about 10 years ago. We just want to highlight that, like that, the mental framework of the timeline for you is about 10 years.
Well,
I call throwback 20, in my opinion.
So, and for me, whatever you want to call it, like to me, the magic number in the club world for whether you want to call it throwback or old school, or I don't know what you want to call something that's 10 years old from a standpoint of what you want to refer to it as, but I've always found that to be the magic number as far as what songs are popping the most. And for instance, I thought No Hands peak. I mean, I know it still works, but I thought its peak was around 2020. When it was around.
I kind of rediscovered it around that time because we were always joking. I don't know the lyrics to No Hands.
Oh yeah, we have a video from Cleveland. We're in Cleveland at a Club Killers meetup, and we're just walking as me and you, and was it Icon?
Yeah, Icon was there and a bunch of
and then like a bunch of local Cleveland DJs, and we're out and we're walking from bar to bar after the Club Killers meetup, and we're talking about the lyrics, and I'm like, listen to this track, bitch, and DeVille's like,
I legit didn't know the word. I remember the melody, and I'm like, you know what? It occurred to me that I never had this in rotation when it was red hot.
What?
I actually play it more now than I did 10 years ago.
From the Warner intro.
I have an epic intro that I made, so I always play the epic intro.
I did, but I think it pops more now than it did. You know what song pops way more? Never worked back in the day. I would get so many requests in 2010 for Pretty Girl Rock by Carrie Hilson, and I never got responses. All the girls would ask for that song. Ooh. Never got responses. And it goes off now. Like,
see, I don't even know how that song goes on top of my head.
I know the name. Carrie. I'm so very my, it's a little bit scary.
Wow.
You never heard it?
Wow.
That's fire.
I definitely don't know the lyrics to that one.
She had like 2 bangers and she left.
Yeah.
But still.
So talking about throwbacks, like, because I know.
So 10 years is to me is
that's a timeline for that's definition.
And I will say now, like my biggest though by far, and I mean you get physical reaction to people like jumping around to it for the past year, I would say has been Bobby Shmurda, Hot Boy. Like
yes,
just still and even before the Clooney, I know brought back the Stephanie, and then people started making all these edits. But even before that, like I was playing the original. I
still play it too. That's my combo. I play them back to back. They sound so good together.
Yeah, they came out at the same time too.
Yeah,
right? It was a New York.
People do the shmoney dance.
Yes, and it's so good. And honestly, that's a still in my mind such a great response there. Like people will physically move to that when they weren't doing anything else the rest of the night. You'll bring people out the woodwork.
Now, I need to ask this because do people get into swag surfing on the West Coast? Because that's huge.
Yes.
Okay,
that's huge. You got to bring them all right though.
Yeah.
You got to do like an announcement and grab your best friend, put them on. They laugh. You got to dictate with them. If you don't dictate on the mic, it's gonna be like 20 people instead of 400.
Because it gets everybody on the same page at least.
Yes.
Because it's almost like the wobble. You tell people the wobble's coming, and then all of a sudden they start lining up, and then the wobble leader comes out to the front. People, you gotta have like a guide with these songs to get the best response. But then you get that's how you get the content. When you get the entire wave of people going left to right coordinated, that's the best way to do it. I like an organized dance floor.
It works in Pittsburgh no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I play swag surfing at the majority of even weddings. Like I play swag surfing.
Really? It transitioned to weddings?
Oh yeah.
Oh
wow. I play Bobby Shmurda at weddings. Now I don't think most DJs do that, but I
clean version.
I have.
Depends on the wedding couple.
So I have what I call a semi-dirty version. That you can. Certain lyrics don't exist in it, but other dirty lyrics
when
do.
there's kids around you.
Yeah. But most of my weddings are all adults. Like I would say, probably 90% of the weddings I do are adult.
Yeah, and you know your crowd from the meetings, and you're going to know what they really want.
I actually ask when I do weddings. I have a question on my form that asks, do you want like clean versions or dirty versions? And one of my friends recently, it was actually Alex Neppa again, was saying, he said he doesn't think a lot of the younger kids even know that clean versions exist because they grew up listening to music on Spotify.
It's true.
So the younger generation never even,
no filter.
They didn't listen to the music on the radio. Like they don't even know that's
when they would actually switch the lyric.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's true. Because we grew up with radio clean versions, and sometimes they'd rewrite the lyrics, like especially Dr. Dre was great about that.
And shout out to everyone that did that, like Snoop, Dre, Wiz.
Yes.
Like, that was so cool. Like
for the radio?
I hate when it's just all the gaps in the
Young
song.
Money was the worst about it. They just deleted like Swiss cheese, and half the song was deleted, like Lil Wayne songs. It was just half the words were gone. It's horrible.
Yeah,
horrible.
there's no point of even doing that.
But like nothing but a G thing. Like the clean version of that's totally cool.
Because they knew they were going to be on MTV. That's why they knew they were going to be on MTV. So it was worth the effort.
Reworded it.
I actually like.
I never thought about that.
I actually like Mobbin' with the Dog Pound, Bow Wow Wow better than the original lyric.
Some of them it flows better. So it's true. And have you noticed that, especially in the Pharrell era, when they'd rewrite, the clean version sounded sonically better? You ever notice that? The clean versions of like Beautiful by Snoop and Pharrell, the clean version is sonically better mixed. Just a random little fact.
That must be
because for the radio.
So
it's just better. It's a better master. They spent more time on it. It seems like
it was brighter.
It's clean. Yeah.
So here's my clean version comment that always perplexed me. So at the end of Back That Ass Up,
yes,
Lil Wayne, the drop it like it's hot part.
Yep.
Even though there's no curse words in it, he re-sang it for Back That Thing Up and Back That Ass Up. It's different.
It sounds sonically different.
Yes, like
actually
his
saying,
actual voice, right? Not just the mastering of it, but he re-sang it and it sounds slightly different. And
you're right.
It was always interesting to me that I'm like, there were no curse words in that part of the song. Why did
Because it sounded better too. It was like just a sonically better take.
His voice sounds slightly different,
stronger.
Yeah, he re-sang it for Back That Thing Up and Back That Ass Up.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's for. That's a serious observation.
It's a deep cut.
How did you notice that? Just when you play it, it sounds different.
Go back and listen to it. That's true.
Listen to the drop it like it's hot. Drop it listen to the Lil Wayne part between Back That Thing Up and Back That Ass Up.
I need to go back and listen to that.
He re-recorded it, even though there aren't curse words in that part of the song.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point.
Damn.
So now I want to kind of cap this whole situation off. What's your threshold for retiring a song? Like, okay, enough is enough. Because I know you've said this before. I've retired songs. What causes you to want to retire a song?
I mean, I think it's different. Sometimes I'm sick of it. Sometimes Party Up for me was one. And I brought Party Up and Be Faithful are two that I retired and then at one point brought back again and then retired again. Sometimes it's personal fatigue. Sometimes it's not seeing the song work. And it's
consistently,
interesting.
Not getting any response.
And there are some songs. So here's an interesting thought. There are some songs that never. So Pop That by French Montana. I never really stopped playing Pop That. It just kept working. Mm-hmm. But then about 10 years later, I finally retired it because I've been playing this for 10 years. Whereas there's other throwbacks like Bobby Shmurda was from around the same era. But I quit playing that a year or two after it was out, so then I brought it back. So sometimes, I think a song stays around for, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and then it's like, okay, we can retire it. But then sometimes a song was hot for 2, 3 years, but then kind of went away, and then you bring it back, But so I have to look at my Sundays, say at the Flats. I mean, I've been there for 7, actually 8 years now. So I started in 2017, and it's a lot not the same people coming for 8 years straight, but there's a lot of the same people that for 2 or 3 year periods they'll come, and they're not gonna come if I'm playing the same music every week.
That's good cognitive awareness.
Right. They're not going to come. I mean, when I started the R&B, I play a lot of R&B throwbacks there. And when I started, the R&B throwbacks were, Ja Rule and Ashanti and early 2000 stuff. And now the R&B throwbacks I'm playing are You by Lloyd and Lay Your Head and, Bus It Baby and There Goes My Baby by Usher. Everything kind of moves forward slowly. But also, too, when you're playing a weeknight, I think this is part of why there are so few weeknights anymore, you can't just go into a weeknight party and play, you know, the lowest hanging fruit, the Icona Pops and things like that. Like for a weeknight party, you have to give people something to a level that they're not expecting or they're not getting every other time they go out.
Yeah, for sure.
I think what you just said, every DJ who has a residency somewhere should take that. Because that's how you lose your residence. Oh, it's good. Nah, DJ plays the same thing every time.
Yeah.
So that's a
and
good
there's
take.
a lot of influencers calling out DJs for that right now. That seems to be a thing.
Or same routines too.
I think in clubs in general too. I think this, obviously the club scene has been hurt nationwide. There are less big clubs than ever. And I think part of a big problem with it is that there's a lot of, and part of it's on the clubs for lower pay rates, but the DJing skill as far as crowd reading, taking risk has gotten watered down, and a lot of the DJs in the big rooms just play the lowest hanging musical fruit, you know, an Icona Pop, a hotel room service, something like that. Well, granted, there's always going to be the bachelorettes there and the birthdays that come once a year for their birthday, and they're going to respond to those songs. But to me, the bread and butter of the club was always those regulars that came every week. And those regulars don't want to hear that. The regulars want to hear John Summit. The regulars want to hear Fred again. They want to hear something that's cool and new and trendy, and nobody's catering to that crowd anymore. And I think that's really hurt the club industry, and I think that's why too you're getting all these parties like R&B and Ribs, like Everyday People, that are curating the DJ experience and having DJs that aren't just playing, you know, the most obvious low-hanging fruit.
It was the anti-low-hanging fruit, literally.
Right. You know, and I think that's why those parties are doing so well, because, and some of it's on owners, you know, sometimes the owners just want the party played very safe, and it's that corporate mentality, but the art of it gets lost in that.
To play devil's advocate for the venue, and I've been in this situation a million times. I probably have Stockholm syndrome. That's why I'm playing devil's advocate. But you know how many times I've worked for clubs where I had to be Mr. Fix-It, and I go into a room that's empty when you start playing, and you have to build it up, and you have to utilize low-hanging fruit to attract the common denominator, at least. So it's like you're creating this, hey, this is something familiar, come on in. And then the minute you stray from that, you get reprimanded. Because I've literally been reprimanded for being creative and getting outside the box.
The fear of getting fired.
Yeah. So hey, stick to the script, stick to the program, don't deviate. And I've been in that situation a million times, man. I'm telling you, literally, I'm probably emotionally damaged from it.
Right. Well, but there's also, to me, another route. And my goal in DJing, I had a realization. So this was probably 2011, 2012. I was playing out in San Diego with Angle, with Club Killers fam, DJ Angle.
Yeah.
And I was playing it, I forget if it was still Ivy or if it was Ondas. I think it was right when it changed to Ondas. I think it was Ivy when I was booked, and it was Ondas by the time I played there. Wow. And it was like the big club room, and it was a great night, but when, for some reason, I don't know why, I can't explain it, in that era, when I would play on the road, I would take risk all the time when I was at my home club. But when I was out of town, I played it very safe, and I'd play Black Eyed Peas, and I'd play Pitbull, and I'd play Flo Rida. And I had just such a great night crowd reaction wise. And at the end of the night, like all the bartenders, the promoters, security walked by me, and like nobody said anything to me. I didn't get like dapped up or a compliment. And I was kind of felt dejected, and I internalized it, and I thought about it. And at the time, also in Pittsburgh, we had all the Scam and Dexstar guys coming through, and I was opening for them. And it was this big realization moment for me that you can't just go into a club and play only the obvious music. You can play some of it, but there has to be, and that's really ever since, and it's in my mind helped my career. It doesn't matter whether I'm doing a wedding, a nightclub, a sporting event. I'm trying to balance and make like the promoters and the cool kids and the music lovers happy, and make, you know, the basic white girl happy at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's really the balancing act, I think, that makes you successful as a club DJ.
It's a great observation, and honestly, like, that is a very, I mean, it keeps your creativity flame alive too, because like I've had mine stomped on a few times where it's like I just have to play the safe stuff, or I have to keep the room going because that's all that matters. But once the room is full, you can jump off the diving board and try some things. And that's where, like, I think for me, my editing, like my creativity started to bubble out through my editing versus like DJing live. And that's something that, and also my mic work. I've utilized my mic work, and I'm actually going to segue into our next argument. All right, guys, I want to take a quick break from the podcast. And as a special thank you for tuning in, Late Night Legends wants to offer you guys 15% off at the clubkillers.com store. It's super easy. All you got to do is go to clubkillers.com, go to the store, pick out your favorite merch, and when you go to the checkout window, enter the code LateNight15. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get back to the podcast that we had, because it was interesting to talk about I don't know, just so everybody's aware, we had an interesting debate on Club Killer's social media talking about what's more important, good mic work or good programming. And in my opinion, both. I think that emceeing supersedes good programming, assuming both are good. I had to clarify that for you because I wasn't clear. So
because the original way it was said, it could have come off as you could be a horrible programmer, and
as long as you're a killer MC,
right?
That's still better. And I guess I had to clear that up, and I wanted to talk to you more about that and just kind of unpack that in a more clear way. Is like I really found that my DJing career got compounded and more embraced and more successful once I added MC presence versus just being a quality programmer. And I wanted to ask you more about that as far as like all of your perspectives. Like, first of all, do you use the mic when you DJ?
So I come from the Latin world. If you don't use the mic, get out of the room. It's like hip hop and Jamaican culture and Latin culture. You got to use the mic.
So that's from day one.
Day one. I don't know about dance music or open format room, but in Latino culture, you're not talking on the mic, bro. People have to relate to you, man.
So do you think that in a Latin set, even if it's a mediocre at best programmer, as long as he's a decent or a great MC, can he get through a night?
Yeah, I did it this Saturday. I'm not gonna name him, but they did it.
He killed it? Like,
all they did was bring songs with the mic in.
Overall, he killed it.
Yeah, because they talked like, it was Mexican independence, so they kept relating stuff to Mexican independence, where the Latinas are, where's the baddies are, all in Spanish, obviously. Yeah. There's our own sayings also.
Very engaging.
And it was engaging. And I'm like, damn, he's not even mixing that much, but it worked.
Yeah, see. And so now you come from a different background, especially being at Win for a very long time.
Which,
very corporate.
Where there was no mic for the resident DJs to say anything.
So do you feel like that chopped your legs off a little bit compared to like when the headliner goes on, he gets to do whatever he wants?
Yes and no. I would say because the room was already packed with thousands of people. So like there was a full floor. I didn't really have to.
Yeah, because we're talking like XS and all the different like Win properties are awesome properties. Like every one of them was amazing. And that, like, to recap the whole concept, like when Steve Wynn originally opened XS, he said the club is the star. That's why he shoved the DJ in the corner behind the tinted glass.
I was in that booth with like Dave Fogg and War and Peace hanging out.
Dance music, everybody wants to vibe. You never hear at EDC that much mic, unless Gordo, like he talks a lot. But dance music, people want to vibe. People get mad at the mic and what I've noticed in dance
certain
music.
venues.
So it depends. But then when Big Room EDM kind of really took over, it was required to be on the mic again because like you're the conductor of the 1 2 3 jump. Like every song's 1 2 3 jump or 3 2 1 jump.
Like an Aoki was heavy on the mic.
Yeah. So it kind of like evolved and then it kind of got cartooned. Because like in hip hop culture, obviously you got the Funk Flexes of the world. Literally every song.
You're telling a story in those rooms, like versus Dance 3 2 1. Yeah. Like in hip hop and Latin music, you're getting reactions and you're like Crooked when he saw me on the mic. He goes, "You're taking him to a journey." You know, like because hip hop talks to certain people. You know, like
that's the definition of a good MC because you are telling a story, you are controlling the crowd, you are maintaining something. Like when you go to when you watch like Ultra Music Fest, it's like a lot of these guys, they literally just count off 1 2 3 4.
No, I think that works in my opinion.
Hey, whatever city I'm in, how are you feeling today? Like it's just there's nothing to it.
And it lost its. Yeah, I agree with you. It became cartoonish in the EDM world. Now, for me, there's several places in Pittsburgh like Cavo. The only thing we do with the mic is you get a birthday shout outs for tables, only for tables, and like that's it, and that's all the owner wants.
What kind of music are you playing at Cavo?
Cavo is all like little bit of Latin, but like mostly electronic, hip hop,
like bootlegs,
a lot of remixes of. I mean, it's a big room bottle service club, so it's
I just know
like 1,000 person club, big lighting system.
That's dope,
right? Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and so Cavo, like the owner doesn't want doesn't want that, doesn't want the whole 3-2-1 jump thing, which I'm fine with. My interesting thing about MCing is I actually enjoy MCing, but when I DJ, I'm so committed, I'm so all into DJing, I don't do them well together. And I don't even like to MC when I'm DJing. So when I'm DJing, and there's a lot of songs, especially when I'm in the hip hop world, where I'm playing a hook, I'm playing 16 to 32 bars of a song, and then I'm going into the next song. So I'm moving so fast, I don't even have that time there. Yep. And I have venues, I have parties every year. Seven Springs, which is this ski resort in the Pittsburgh area. A lot of ski resorts do this pond skim at the end of the year, and basically it's where they build a pond and the skiers ski down the slope and then they ski over the pond.
That's dope.
And they pay me every year to come in and MC it, and like someone else DJs it, and I love that. I'm comfortable MCing. I enjoy MCing a lot, but I just, when I'm DJing, I'm 110%. My brain is all in on the DJing side.
Yeah, you're like 3 songs ahead, probably, of what you're gonna play.
And
plus you're quick mixing too. You're like powering, right? Because in hip hop, bro, after the chorus, people lose their interest,
right?
Yeah.
And then you know, there have been in the heyday of the open format era, there were guys like Scene and Vice that MC'd a little more. Reach was a great MC, you know, and then there were guys like AM that just
never said a word,
right? You know,
and
but going back. But going back to what I wanted to bring up when you were talking about, you know, having to play the low-hanging fruit, and going back to AM, and I learned a ton from AM, and I still to this day, you know, ask myself in my mind, what might he be doing today if he was still around? And his genius to me, more than anything else, was he'd come up with songs that were obvious, but no other DJs played them. He wasn't playing obscure songs. He'd come up with that song that was a huge hit, like a Sweet Home Alabama, you know, or Journey, Don't Stop Believin', that was a huge hit that everyone knew, but DJs didn't play.
Right.
And I think there's still credence to that, whether it's a One Direction song or an old Jonas Brothers song like Year 3000 or Burnin' Up, like that era of Jonas Brothers. I think there's still credence to coming up with those songs that were huge hits. It's interesting. Jonas Brothers had, I think, almost as many top 10 hits as like NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, but yet so many DJs still play NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, but don't touch Jonas Brothers. I don't mean Jonas Brothers. One Direction. One Direction had more hits. Jonas Brothers did too, but One Direction had more hits.
Yeah, like radio hits for sure. Because like Jonas Brothers is more on the Disney Channel. Yeah.
I think DJs are scared. I think they're scared to try something new that's unknown. And to me, I'm like wired the opposite. Like I don't want to keep doing the same thing. I love music so much, but after I've done it so many times, I want to play the next new song, come up with the next, whether it's a new song or a throwback song, like come up with that next different song to play that's going to get the good crowd right.
Well, because I have like this built-in fear. Like, you know, I don't know if it probably stems from, you know, high school even, but like there's like this perception of needing to look cool while you're DJing. Like everything has to be cool. All the songs need to be cool. So I look cool because I'm a cool guy DJ. In the room, right? Yeah. So when all of a sudden it's like, I never thought in my mind One Direction was cool. So that's why I project, because I was never a fan. I didn't relate to that song. It doesn't mean it's not cool to certain people. I just never perceived it as cool because I just thought it was like pop music that didn't even have a club sound. Because that's my other filter that sometimes I have to unwire. It's like not every song needs to have a club sound to be a banger.
Look at the reactions of Taylor Swift gets. Look at the reaction that Killer's Mr. Brightside gets. Shake It. Do you ever play Shake It by Metro Station? People love Shake It by Metro Station.
Oh yeah.
Do you think when you listen to albums, you're listening like you're skimming for the club hits instead of listening like a fan? Like Drake, like there's B-sides of Drake that smack, but they don't sound like a club hit to us.
Right.
Like I used to do that too, and I stopped doing that about a year ago. I'm like, bro, this is a hit, but it just doesn't
like
sound
Headlines
like
by Drake. I never thought that
fire,
was
but it worked.
But you know, it took me like after I got like 5 requests in a row for him, I'm like, okay, this is valid. This This is a valid track.
Oh, listen to his. This is our club. Next.
Yeah. But like Headlines was
but
never in my mind.
All those songs they go off, right? Which I would never even think.
I mean, so I do the music, a lot of music for sports teams in Pittsburgh, and including the University of Pittsburgh's football and basketball teams. And football games, like I played, like I would never play this during gameplay, but like during a commercial break when we're just showing fans, I played One Direction, What Makes You Beautiful, or Live While We're Young. I have like 6 sections wide of college students just jumping up and down like it's a concert, singing along. So you have
a unique window of validation for these songs too, because would you be as inclined if you had not seen that?
But I played it before I saw it. I played it and I knew that was the like I try my best, and I feel like I'm good at it to put other demographics, other generations' music into my brain as far as like my music. So to me, like Jonas Brothers and One Direction would be my NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, like my generation, our generation.
So when you're in that pocket. Because like I always think about like I totally understand that pocket, like 110 pocket, like Spice Girls, Britney Spears, all those songs that like link up together super easy. Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, all that stuff like just lines up. It's great. Holla Back Girl, all that. So then you're jumping. It's another link in your chain. Because I'm trying to break this down psychologically. Because DJs have play routes. And once you start going into a groove, you know this is going to complement the next thing. And like I was talking about AM with like, Don't Stop Believing, that was a link in a chain to him. Because he knew one song was going to talk to the next. So you're building these new links that are not common. And I think that's an important thing to highlight, because I have play routes and certain things that I do. But then if I know the crowd is feeling it, I expand that chain link and I let it rock a little longer. Because sometimes you got to go fishing. You're gonna try a couple.
Well, look, you saw the slow rise of all of the emo pop punk stuff. Like first, it was just Mr. Brightside. Then it was also Sugar We're Going Down. Then it was also Blink 182, All the Small Things, and First Date. And I mean, I've kind of started phasing it out. I played for about 5 years. I played Move Along as a throwback by All American Rejects. Got huge reactions from that song. And in clubs, at weddings, I mean, it's 110, 111. I'd mix it out of like a Holla Back Girl, or maybe it's in the same key as In My Head. So sometimes I go in or out of In My Head by Jason Derulo and that.
But that's a strong link in your chain, because you already know how you're going to talk it to the crowd. You're literally talking to your crowd with that. That's cool.
And sometimes too, most of these songs I come up with kind of on my own through either just remembering them, research. I'll go back and look at old charts.
How do you stay young? Because you said SoundCloud rap. I deal with a lot of like young kids, and you said SoundCloud rap. Like, they know about it. So I was gonna ask you, how do you stay young with music? Because that's Juice WRLD is really relatively new to a lot of DJs.
I enjoy it. I mean, like to me, obviously my hip hop's always going to be Biggie and Snoop. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to still, as much as I love Biggie and Snoop, it's been 30 years. I wouldn't want to still be playing Notorious Thugs every night and,
Big Papa and California Love.
Right. I like playing them once in a while. Yeah. And I love, like, if you give me, once or twice a year, I'll get to do like a 40th or 50th birthday party. And I have so much fun at those, because it's just like rewind to 20 years ago.
Only 50-years-olds. I just had that happen to me. It was a rooftop party. It was all 50-year-old West Coasters. It was like a backyard boogie. I was just playing with classic West Coast hip hop. It was awesome.
I played DJ Fabian, not the Fabian that used to be or that still is in Vegas, but there's a DJ Fabian in San Francisco, and he flew me out to play his 50th birthday party. And I mean, we were playing like the electro I was playing the electro from like the mid 80s, like the World Class Wrecking Crew and
when Dr. Dre was a DJ.
Siberian Nights, all that stuff. I played Stevie B, the Postman song at the end of the night. People went nuts. I hadn't played that song since the 90s. And I just was like, this is going to work with this crowd. But as far as the staying young, I still do enjoy, so many DJs don't enjoy new music. Like I was enjoying what was coming out 10 years ago. I'm enjoying what's coming out now. I still really enjoy and love new music,
But on that note, I've been seeing, so I have a certain bitterness towards the last 5 years of music for whatever reason. But I know I'm not alone, because it has been an ongoing narrative on social media. when my problem is with it is like I've tried a lot of songs that are supposed to be bangers, or like you know how fast a Megan Thee Stallion song dies. I hate to single her out.
I talk about the hot it is, or the
like,
actual song.
You know, she had such a good run. So like I'm a Savage, like that song blew up, and that I feel like that one had such a good pop. And then when I see these songs come like a Cardi B track, it's supposed to be a banger, and I play it and I get no reaction at all. That's what really discourages me with a lot of this newer music. And I know I'm not alone in that. How do you get, or like, how do you experiment with new music? To see, do you litmus test it? Do you try it at the beginning of a night, in the middle? Because like I get a lot of bad reactions to new music. Like I'm sorry, like that's why I go back to my top 200, the 200 songs that matter. Like I declared a while back, those songs hit every time, and then I play a new song and they don't hit at all, and it gets so frustrating to me. I don't know how do you. So
to me, I think if it's a new song, and it's a banger, it's popular. You almost need to try it at peak hour. You need to take that risk when the crowd energy is high, because if you play it as a opening song or end of the night song, you might not get the same reaction. But I thought that this year, it's a weird moment to be talking about new music, because I always defend new music. This year has been the most garbage year, in my opinion, for new music.
Yeah, we agree there.
In forever. But last year, this year it's been what, Nokia and the Bad Bunny album, which I love. This might be my favorite Bad Bunny album.
Yeah, Bad Bunny crushed it. He took over.
But that's all that we've had this year. But last year you had Sabrina Carpenter, which that album had 4 or 5 songs you could play off of it. Yep. You had Chaperone, which that album had 3 or 4 songs you could play off
Pink
of
Pony
it.
Club's still going.
Yeah. You had Shabuzi last year.
Yep.
You had Morgan Wallen and Post Malone last year. So you had country. Mm-hmm. You had pop. Then you had hip hop. You had all the Kendrick last year.
Yep.
You had Glorilla, which
she's doing all right this year too.
Like
she did all right this year.
TGIF will be like a chorus and you have to get out of it.
Yeah.
But
and Sexy Red too.
Yeah, but the other Glorilla one, the one that sampled "Wipe Me Down."
Yeah.
Why the name's escaping?
But that kind of shows you it's not as memorable as.
But that one still, and I don't know why the name's escaping me at the moment.
I always forget the new song names. I just remember artists now, so I just have to type in the artist and scan through all their stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, it's that one.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it goes sometimes.
But you had that. You had Rich Baby Daddy last year. You had all of the. Looking for the Hose was a huge hit.
That was a banger.
And some of these might be whatever, lyrically silly, but look at Ho by Ludacris. Like that was lyrically silly, but it was a fun, DJs sometimes I feel like set this high standard where something has to be lyrically mind-blowing and a club hit. Like they'll complain. So we had the Little Baby.
The Jay-Z.
We had the Lil Baby era where Lil Baby is an amazing lyricist, but no club bangers at all.
Yeah.
And I would argue that part of his problem is people want to rap along to the songs.
He doesn't write hooks.
So
he never writes hooks. He's too lyrical.
And his cadence is so fast,
you
can't rap along with it. That's why Drake's been on top for 15 years, because you can rap along with Drake.
Yes.
His cadence is such that anyone can rap along with a Drake song. So we complained about Lil Baby because they weren't club hits. So then Sexy Red comes along and starts putting out club hits left and right, and the lyrics are garbage, but we complain because the lyrics are garbage.
Well,
like you can't always have
amazing.
You can't always have both. You're not always going to have, a Mo Money, Mo Problems or a Not Like Us where the lyrics are great and the song is great. But then all the Kendrick stuff last year went off. I mean, Fiend is, I know you can only play like one verse of it, but Fiend is such a fun song to play, like just dropping it from the synth at the beginning. And just,
it hits. And there has been some standouts, but I feel like everybody's been starving this year. Like from a DJ standpoint, everybody's like recycling tracks. Like all the remixers are recycling old hits. And it's like, yep, I've heard that 3 times before. You know how many remixes of The Way I Are I have in my laptop right now? Because I forget I downloaded the one last month. Oh yeah, Stephanie.
Like 50 remixes.
I have like two of my own, and I've got like 15 others. But it's like, but the cool thing is I can pick different appropriate ones for each venue. Because I play vibe dining, I play clubs, I play like low key spots.
There's the Omni piano.
So there's I have a deep tech version. I have a big room version.
You can play the Disco Dom version.
I
for
love
the
Disco Dom's
for the
version.
vibe dining.
I love it. I love that one.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do
so
too.
that's the cool thing. At least remixers have been kind of venturing out but they're still remixing a lot of like the other one that was a surprise this year was that Notion, The Days. Because that was kind of like a track that never went anywhere as far as that Crystal, because it was on its own. It got released on its own.
It went off on Saturday.
It was just a house. It was just a house record. It was kind of like
house music. I think house has its year this year.
Yeah.
But I don't listen to it a lot, but my partner does, and house music went off this year. But I don't know any of the songs, but they go off like all that stuff.
Yeah,
well, I mean, Chris Lakes had some good stuff this year.
They don't cross over to the mainstream. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
They stay in that subculture of like going to festivals and raves and underground.
Right.
Yeah.
And dance music is having a second renaissance. It's nowhere near what the EDM boom where, I mean, in 2013 you could look at the Billboard Hot 100 and the top
bangers.
10 was literally one song was Zed, one song was Avicii, one song was Swedish House.
That was when all the Billboards were
they crossed over to the pop world.
But the John Summit, I like the John Summit stuff. I like the Chris Lake and Fisher, stuff that's coming out. And I do think dance music's probably going to make another comeback again. But going back to your point about new music, especially this year being a bad year for new music, that's part of why I dig too, to find those old, like the SoundCloud throwbacks, so that you can, because there's nothing new to play, you can't let your set get stale. You still have to come up with something fresh to play. So if you can't find anything new that works, you have to dig and find different throwbacks.
How do you dig?
Sometimes I'll take an artist and I'll say, I know this song works. Like, so for instance, I've been playing for a while as a throwback, or whatever you want to refer to it as, like my shit by A Boogie with a Hoodie.
Okay.
And
that's my shit.
And so, but I never really played Drowning or looked back at it. And so I was like, I want to play something different by him. So I started trying both of those, and they both were getting reactions. Although
Awesome.
Look Back at It needs some snares. It's like those
rework.
It's like those DJ Mustard, like when Fight Night came out and you keep waiting for the beat to drop and the beat just never drops. It's like an amazing bass line, but like people need the snare to dance to.
That's true. No, it's interesting.
So I will go to sometimes an artist where I know this artist is big, and I will say, what songs is what other songs can I play beside the one I'm playing already by this artist?
How do you prep it? Do you put a folder? Like, what is it? What is your formula doing that? Because there's so many records, right? Like, how do you do like, all right, A Boogie with a Hoodie, I want to play his 2 other songs. How do you do that? I'm going to put them in my set tonight.
So
or like a Drake B-side off. Drake's has so many songs, right? Yeah.
I mean, I have all different kinds of thought processes. The recent way I've been doing it, there's this site called kworb.net. It's KWORB.net.
Okay.
And it literally is all streaming charts. So you can look at, how many, the most 200 most streamed songs on Spotify this week or on Apple Music this week. Yes. And it has 2 ways to sort. You can sort all time, or you can sort current. So you can just see what people are listening to now.
That's
so
dope.
I can go into, XXX or A Boogie or whoever, Lil Yachty, and see what are the most streamed songs of that artist right now.
Trending. Yeah, that's great.
And it might not be a banger to us because we listen with DJ ears, but to you it's like, oh, snap.
And the thing is that's important. So this has made it difficult for DJs, but I think it makes it's a powerful thing for good DJs. There's less obvious bangers than ever because radio used to tell us what to like. Or MTV, TRL, or whatever. We were told, as a general population, not as DJs, but the general public was told what to like by radio or by MTV. And now people discover what they like on their own.
Yeah, they're curating their own TRL top 20.
So the song that might be a big, I might play, a Juice WRLD song. I might play Robbery and get a huge sing-along at Flats on Sunday, but I'm not going to play it at Cabo because that's a John Summit crowd, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to read crowds more than ever. I think we're in a position where a great DJ can succeed more than ever, but it's hard if you're not a real... I made a post the other day, and I was proud of coming up with this, but I said that the best DJs love music more than they love DJing. I think some people, especially now, get into DJing because of the glamorousness of
100%.
it, and they just want to be the cool DJ. And I love DJing so much, but I became a DJ because I loved music so much, and I still love music so much. Absolutely. And so, to me, I'm always looking forward to listening to the new music. You know, I'm not looking at it, even though it is work, I'm not looking at it as work. I'm also enjoying the music.
Yeah.
In short, do you think, just, you don't have to make it long, do you think those guys that are getting into it for the fad and the TikTok era, do you think they're going to last?
No.
Straight up.
No, I mean, that's the short answer. I mean, you know, and I think, I forget if it was the Eric Forbes episode. I think there was an episode where you guys were talking about there are some DJs that, you know, might have had a great peak, but so much of their career, I mean, that peak was for a year or two, and now they're just doing nothing again. Whereas there's other people that were just on the grind. I mean, this is my 30th year DJing.
Amen.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome, man.
You know,
Congrats on
30
that.
years, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's like you. That's like life.
26. It's crazy.
I'm
30.
years older than that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm DJing for kids that I was probably playing for their parents when they got the kids
that's
pregnant.
Nuts,
you know?
bro.
Okay.
But and it's been like a slow grind and build, but it's just been every year's always better than the last one. But there's never any like kind of just super huge, you know, I never was like this. It was just this slow, gradual build. Like I've gotten to do lots of cool stuff and play on like Sirius XM with Sway and work at Steelers games, but like everything was just, I'd like grind and I'd get 1 or 2 great opportunities a year, and then I'd get 1 or 2 more great opportunities the next year. And it was just, you know, keep plugging away at it versus these DJs that go from nobody to like playing big rooms, but they can't carry it.
So, so highlighting, so it's, I know how you feel about that.
Well, I do a lot of young kids that are getting into big rooms. That's why I asked you, because they all really are. They're skipping the step. We already know all the steps.
It's easy come, easy go, man.
And they go straight into Live, Omnia, Trial, Tao.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why I asked you what your take is on that. And
right.
I agree.
You have to learn, all the parts of the night, and being an opening DJ. One of the hugest eras of when I grew was from 2006 to 2010. The places I played at in Pittsburgh, every weekend we had a deck star or scam artist DJ one night. So like Friday I would play the whole night, and Saturday I would open for Fashion, and then the next weekend Friday I'd open for Riz, and then Saturday I'd play the whole night. So every weekend I got to see a different great DJ
you're so
from
lucky, man. That's
around
amazing.
the country, and I got to see what they did that worked, and I got to see what they did that didn't work, and that was really helped me grow. And I think there's some younger DJs now finally, like I saw a huge gap in the 2000s where there weren't any new good open format DJs because all the young kids wanted to be an EDM producer. They all wanted to be Avicii. They didn't want to be AM or Jazzy Jeff or anyone like that. And now I'm seeing it come back full circle, especially with some of these parties like R&B and Ribs and Everyday People. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing more young DJs that want to be good open format DJs. So I definitely think there's hope.
Big news. The Late Night Legends podcast is getting its own channel. We're moving. On behalf of the entire Club Killers crew, we want to thank you for your support in tuning into our brand new podcast, Late Night Legends. And it's been going so well, we want to dedicate its own channel on YouTube. All right, guys, it's super easy to find. All you got to do is go to youtube.com/@ClubKillersPodcast. And the best part about the podcast having its own channel, you'll find the clips, the shorts, and the full-length episodes all in one place. We appreciate everyone watching the episodes, but right now, only a small percentage of you are actually subscribed. So right now is the perfect opportunity to join the new channel, show your support, and get involved with the conversation with Late Night Legends.
So 2 quick hitter questions for you. Who are your top 3 favorite DJs that you enjoy right now? I'll start with that one, just off the top of your head. on the spot.
Top
okay. 3 favorite DJs right now.
Right now. So shout out B-Ren, my homie from Pittsburgh. If you're not familiar, follow him. He's he's getting into production too, but he's young in his early 20s, but he's an incredible programmer. He's an incredibly talented on the turntables and production, kind of like whole package type of thing.
Okay.
Definitely a big fan of what he does. I gotta always, I guess, shout out Buck Rogers. I'm such a huge Buck Rogers fan. Like he's, I watch him DJ, and I just, and I'll say, and I'm sure there's plenty more out there, but I'm gonna say James Hype, because I've always loved hip hop, but I've also always loved electronic music, and I love the fact that he's pushing mixing back into and turntablism and tricks and routines back into dance music, because I love dance music, and I just hated watching the whole pre-recorded hour-long set where you just sit there and watch the lights and lasers, right? Yeah. And so I love the fact that he's actually bringing
the
turntablism into,
it's funny because James Hype is really polarizing, because I don't know if you see the comments, he has some people that hate him.
Oh, yeah. The dance world does not get it. That's why.
Yeah, they're not ready for it.
Just mix, bro. I'm like, you guys should appreciate what he's doing right now, man.
But he's actually forced like Alpha Theta to re-engineer their CDJ.
Right, because he wouldn't use their original 3000. He was like, no, I'm not using the original 3000.
He literally told him straight up, I'm not using
it. He was still using it, right? And so all these festivals they had 3000s for every other DJ, and then when he'd go on, they have to put the 2000s back in.
So I think it's really interesting, because he does incorporate, because we can't go apples to apples. Like, I miss turntablism to a point. I talked to Scooter from the West Coast about this, and he's like, well, what do you think is, like, we just had a little quick conversation. It was on a comment, but I'm like, I think the biggest thing lacking right now that's turning into a forgotten art is turntablism. Mm-hmm. And James Hype kind of invented his own CDJ-ism, because it's pushing technology, because that's all turntablism is pushing an existing technology to the brink and creating an art form with it. And he's doing that again in his own way with a new technology. So it's not apples to apples. It can't be. Definitely. Why would it be?
Yeah. Right.
So that's why I love it, because he has tamed his set down. You can tell he's tamed his management. I think has told him, "Yo, chill."
Right. And I think I listened to an interview with him. I might have been on the Road podcast, where he said he watched a set of his back, and he realized he was doing an uplifter in every single, because he has the 4 channels going, and he's like, every single mix I did, one of the 4 channels was the uplifter, and he's like, I need to not use the uplifter.
He's evolving.
Right. And that's the thing I don't think enough DJs have, and I think that's one thing that's really made me successful, and I've been able to go 30 years, and I'm in a better place than I was 10 years ago, and a better place than I was 20 years ago, is I do self-critique, and I do look at myself and look at what other DJs are doing and ask what I could be doing better or what I might be doing wrong, and try to evolve. And I think the best, not just DJs, but in any career, you have to do that and not get sedentary. And, I think that's part of what's wrong with nightclub culture right now. Like, nightclubs 10 years ago were a bunch of lights and CO2 and sparklers and bottle service and EDM music. And nightclubs 10 years later are a bunch of lights and sparklers and bottle service and EDM music.
Shout out Las Vegas.
And it's just... something has to change. You can't do something the same for 10, 15 years with no evolution and expect the trajectory to keep going up. You have to evolve. And I feel like Vegas would benefit from bringing back the AM style open format era. I feel like Vegas would really benefit from that.
Well, it's like, I've heard this phrase before, but it's like turning around an aircraft carrier. And that's like, think about how many billions of dollars have been invested in that era. And all of a sudden, hey guys, we just got to stop. Hey, everybody, stop this. For whatever reason, it's not working. And we're seeing all these new concepts bubble up. But something has to be proven that has some legs. It has to be proven. So I get why these casinos are kind of like stalling and waiting and maybe just closing certain things down, because they want to see what's the next thing we can invest $1 billion in? And we know we can get 10, 15 years out of it. Because EDM was it. That was it.
But also, too, there's not been, I mean, Zook's cool, but like, there's not been a club that's outdone Omnia, which is now 10 years old,
or
right?
Excess.
Yeah, like there's not been a club that's came up even with a cooler design or a better design. But I've gone into Omnia, and Omnia is my favorite club as a physical club, but I've also gone in there and seen all these EDM artists, and they're playing, EDM remixes of 10 to 15-year-old Coldplay songs, and everybody just stands there and sits around, and then the drop comes and they jump around for a few seconds, and then they're bored. The crowd's not engaged. And even when I'm playing Juice WRLD, even if people aren't raging, they're engaged. And when you're playing 10-year-old Coldplay EDM remixes, people are not engaged.
They're two-note.
And I think the other thing that hurts Vegas right now is how corporate it's become. And it's very interesting. I got in this morning, and one of my best friends lives in Vegas, Andrea, and she's a wedding planner, but she also owns a deli. And she picked me up and she took me to her deli, and she's running around as soon as she...
Shout out her deli. She's in Vegas?
Yes.
What's her deli?
Fisher's Delicatessen.
I'm going to check it out.
Oh, food is so good.
Okay.
Food is...
Fisher?
Yeah.
All right, shout out. Okay, nice.
Or no, I think it's Fisher. No C.
Like Fisher?
Yeah.
Fisher.
Yeah.
Got it.
Fisher's Delicatessen. And it was really good. So she gets in the restaurant and she's running around just checking on people because she just got there for the morning with me. And she introduces me to one of the regulars and just kind of leaves us there. Turns out this guy was one of the original executive vice presidents of Venetian when it opened. And so we just talk for like 10, 15 minutes and about the evolution of Vegas. And, we both shared the same thought. And obviously he was here firsthand through all this, that the corporateness has hurt things, and that it's become so about bottom line and not about vision and taking risk and experience. I mean, Steve Wynn did stuff that was risky, but that's why it paid off.
Open a casino
because you took
look at the fountains.
Because
it's a free show,
right? Because you took the risk. That was and nothing is inspirational anymore, and everything has to be so safe because of how corporate it's become. And so there needs to be. I mean, it was a big risk when they did Excess, when there's no DJ booth, they went back. It was the open format era, and they went back to all house music, and they went back to all dance music, and they had Warren Peace and Dave Fogg and Alex and Fabian were all DJing there, right? And they were ahead of that EDM curve, but that was a huge risk at the time.
Yeah.
And places don't take those risks now, but I think that's why they're not successful.
But also too, to agree with you, but also be a little optimistic, is that formula of being corporate isn't working. So it's the first risk taker that wins. It's just going to,
and then everybody's going to flip. Right. It needs to be one plate.
Flip in the right direction, because right now everybody's racing to the bottom.
You need to have one person that has enough individual money as an individual,
and has a vision to invest,
right? And can just say, okay, we're doing it this way, and then that can change. And right, just like when Excess opened, everything changed. Excess forced everyone else to change. You can have one place do that, but you need that one venue to do it first.
True. Okay, so another fast question. What are your top 3 go-to songs of all time that have never failed you? And I actually want to ask all of you guys this. This is a everybody answer question.
So I have to think, my first one, I always used to joke if there was a draft for music that that I Want You Back by the Jackson 5 would always be number one on my draft board.
Yeah, okay. Actually, let's just do 2 so for the sake of going through.
So yeah, we're gonna say I Want You Back by Jackson 5, and I love big shout outs. I think it was labeled as a discotheque remix, but it was mainly Joe Maz that did it. It has like 808s. I mean, I played the original beforehand, but there's a great discotheque remix of it that's out there floating around. And if I'm going to do a second, I don't know, maybe Party Up I mean, it's something I've probably retired for several years now, but it still will work. I mean, that's my song. It's got
the numbers on your Serato.
Yeah, well, and that's my song too. Like, Steelers games, pit games, when I'm playing in the stadium, like if we have that moment where we get the final stop that's going to guarantee us we're winning the game, like that's my song in that moment.
Okay. Well, what about you, JD?
It's funny you said discotheque. There's a Rock With You, Michael Jackson. I don't know if you ever played that one.
I don't know if I know that they did it.
It's such a good electronic version of Rock With You.
Okay. And it like that new disco electro kind of sound?
Yeah, back when, electro was big.
That era. Totally.
It still works. I still play it.
I think Gigamesh was on that production team at the time.
Yeah.
So that's a great one. What? So that one, and then what's another one? Like an all-time great banger that just never fails.
That's going to be... I don't know. I got to think about that one.
Yeah, because honestly, there's
more newer stuff. I would say, like like the 24 carats and stuff like that still work right now.
Oh yeah, honestly, they are go-tos. Like they're just kind of like floor savers in some cases.
Yeah, the floor savers.
Yeah. What about you?
So Exile. I want to hear the two Latin.
Oh,
the two Latin go-tos.
Man, they're so cliche.
Like fail safe.
But they work though. Like, man.
Well, that's what it's all about. I know. It is cliche because
I play for the 18-year-olds too because we have an 18+ party. Gasolina. I hate that record, but it works. Yeah. It works. Yeah. And for the upbeat stuff, Danza Coduro by Don Omar. It still works. Yeah. Like even obviously it's older records. They're older records, but they still work for the younger generation.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how. Loque Paso too.
Oh yeah, 100%. But he gave me 2. Loque Paso was going to be 3, but they still work and they both cross over.
No, it's true. And for me, it's definitely the select mix of Hips Don't Lie. That's my all-time number one.
That always works.
That has more plays than any other track, Head and Shoulders. And then number 2 would be It Wasn't Me by Shaggy.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Those 2 records have dominated my playlist since I became a DJ.
I will say my Serato, I have one song that has over 500 plays since play count started.
Yeah.
Sierra 1-2 Step.
Okay,
that's a good one.
Yeah. See now. What gets the most plays? You always go back to it, no matter what. It always finds its way back into your set every single time.
But that one's interesting. That's one that probably from the late 2000s till there was probably almost a 10-year period where I barely touched that song. And then I brought it back in the mid-2010s, and it just never has gone away. But then, too, we were talking about regional music before we got on and started recording, and I play a lot of Mac Miller. Like Knock Knock is one of my top 10.
I don't even know that song.
Two of my top 10 most played songs in Serato are The Spins by Mac Miller and Knock Knock by Mac Miller.
He's a Pittsburgh local, right?
Yeah,
that's why.
It was obviously.
I hate to admit this, but I just heard about the Spins recently. I was never on the radar with Mac Miller.
Yeah, dude.
Or just Donald Trump on the West Coast.
Yeah,
those records. I think they wouldn't cross over here.
But that's where that regionality comes in.
Yeah, like the Spins, Knock Knock. I mean, but there's a lot of other Mac songs, and even like Wiz. It's funny. Probably no one would expect this. If I go in my Serato, my 10th most played Wiz song is Black and Yellow. Wow. The Thrill is definitely which is the one that sampled Walking on a Dream. That is by far my most played Wiz song.
Okay.
Young and Wild and Free, Roll Up's huge, No Sleep is huge. People in Pittsburgh, 50-year-old white dudes are the audience that wants to hear Black and Yellow. It's that we think we're cool because we know a Wiz song. That's the Black and Yellow.
You know about the OJ and Kush mixtape?
Yeah, whoa. No. But yeah, the people in Pitts, same with Mac Miller. People want to hear. I mean, Donald Trump by Mac Miller still goes off.
That's the only one that works out here for me. That's how I was like, damn, you mentioned them. Yeah.
Yeah, but Donald Trump will work. We did a Mac Miller bobblehead night at the Pirates Stadium this summer. Sold out 40,000. There were people in line 6 hours before the stadium opened for Mac Miller bobbleheads. That's how much Pittsburgh loves Mac Miller. And I curated outside the player music and a few celebration songs. I curated from 30 minutes before first pitch until the end of the game, every song we played was either a Mac Miller instrumental or like a Mac Miller song.
That's so sick.
For the entire, game. I mean, he is maybe even more so than Wiz, but I mean, Wiz is super loved in Pittsburgh too. They're both very loved and embraced.
There's obviously the legacy RIP factor there.
Right.
So they're giving him his flowers.
Absolutely. And there's multiple eras of Mac. Like there's his original, mixtape era, which was just all the fun, like party rap when Spins came out and Knock Knock and Donald Trump and Party on Fifth Ave and all of that stuff. And then, he got very introspective and did, like Weekend with Miguel, stuff. Right, and all the stuff with Anderson .Paak and all of those songs. So, but yeah, and then
I gotta go back and listen to him. I was never a big fan. I gotta go back and listen to that.
And he was a great rapper. He was great production. And then on the West Coast, we were talking about before we came on all the hyphy stuff, and something like Too Short, Blow the Whistle is one of my favorite. So I don't know if you are aware of this, but I'm known
this
for.
Is a question on my question on my sheet. What caused you to start rapping Too Short at all your gigs?
So the whole thing.
Yeah. And that's a song that's obviously huge.
Wait, just the first verse or the whole thing? The second two.
I can do the first two verses.
Damn, because he's got three, right?
Yeah.
That's great. I didn't know that. That's funny.
So it's literally like karaoke with Digital Dave.
So here's how it started. This goes back to Cavo, and Cavo's been around for 13, 14 years, and it's been successful. Like, funny enough, it was starting to wane a little bit right before COVID hit. And then after it came out of COVID, they did a little remodeling during COVID, and it was just like there was a lot of clubs, I don't know about out here, but they just became re-energized after COVID because it was just people had not been there for 2 years and it was new again. Mm-hmm. But so it's one night years ago. I always loved Blow the Whistle, but one night years ago, I'm at Cavo. And the owner, two owners, Paul and Leah Martinez, and husband and wife, and the owner, Paul, runs the lights every night. Literally loves to run the lights. He's been the light tech every night the club's open for like 13 years.
That's awesome.
And so he's right next to me, and he's a big drinker. So like you have a bottle. It used to be Fireball, but recently it's been Crown Apple. Crown Apple's been his go-to recently. And you and
that explains everything.
So you have a bottle. You have a bottle in the DJ booth. And like it just passed around. You just drink from the bottle and you just the whole night. And I think when the Blow the Whistle started, it was probably around 2016 or 17. I think it was Fireball back then. So it's late in the night, like the last 15 minutes of the night. And I played it, and I was just playing the song. And I grabbed the mic. I don't know what, I was definitely drunk. Grabbed the mic, rapped Blow the Whistle. So go through, whatever, don't think anything of it. Like 2 weeks later, I'm back, and I played Blow the Whistle, and he picks up the mic and he hands it to me.
Oh, no.
So that was the time when it became a thing, was then I played it a second time, right, and he handed me the mic. So then for a while, it was one of those, because it was a big electronic high energy club, but it was one of those last 15 minutes of the night wind down songs, and it almost became a weekly thing. And then DJs would see it on social media, so then I was DJing at different DJ conferences, and I was doing it. Man. But so then I'm fast forward to, it's 2022, I think. I'm out in Tahoe DJing a wedding for Andrea, who I mentioned earlier, the wedding planner. She's the planner for this wedding. It's a literal billionaire's wedding.
Oh, wow.
And at the Ritz-Carlton in Tahoe. And the light tech, they brought in Jacob and Company, this guy that does these light installs at weddings, high-end weddings. So he was running the lights, and he comes up to me, and he's like, someone wants to hear Blow the Whistle. And I'm like, he's fucking with me. Like, he's fucking with me. This isn't real. And so then about 15 minutes go by, and then actual groomsman comes up, and he's like, can you play Blow the Whistle? Now, we are in Tahoe, so we're in California, we're in Northern California. Like, so I'm like, I have to do it. Like, this can't, So So I go out, and the other thing about this wedding, which is important to know, is so there were two DJs. One DJ DJ'd like the first hour and a half or so, and then I did like the second hour and a half. And I was supposed to be like it was in the same room, but I was supposed to be the after party DJ. So they had me dress. Andrea said, dress like you dress. Like, she's like, I don't want Dave Lander, was what she said. I want Digital Dave. Okay. So I came in with like, as everyone's in tuxedos, and I have my snapback on and, t-shirt and everything like that. So I play Blow the Whistle, and I'm like, fuck it. Like, and I go at a billionaire. Michael Phelps was a guest at this wedding, and I'm literally rapping Blow the Whistle.
That's amazing.
At this wedding.
So you literally it's part of your
so it just became a thing. And I always loved that song.
It's hilarious because I've seen it on social media numerous times.
And it could have been the first time would have just been one and done, but it was when the second time Paul picks up that mic and hands it to me, and I'm like, okay, now I guess
we have to get an overlay at some point on this. Do you have a video of this? Do you have a video that we can send?
Oh yeah,
we're going to send Kel a video so we can.
There's I think an Instagram post of mine that has like 7 video from like different states, like one from New Jersey.
We got to put this on the show. We got to show it to everybody. So all right. So Dave, we got one last question, and I'm really curious to see your take as a 30-year vet. Like, what's your take on DJ streaming and digital streaming service providers going into this new era that we're going into?
So I don't know, actually. I mean, it's definitely new territory, and it's like when we went from records to CD. I mean, I went from records to CDs, and then I went from CDs to MP3s.
Yes.
And now it looks like we're going to go from MP3s to streaming. So it's.
Have you incorporated it or utilized it or even seen it used so far?
I have not.
Have you guys seen anybody use streaming yet?
Yes.
On the field, like
a lot of people.
What do you think of it? Like,
I'm a fan of it.
Yeah, I think. Have you seen people use it?
I've been using it.
I've been using it. Yeah.
So you firsthand.
Yeah.
What are your first thoughts, or are there any? What are the positives and what are the negatives from what you're seeing?
I think there's a lot of benefits. I want to see it to a point where I can show up to a gig, log in on a CDJ, and my playlist just pop up.
Yep.
And I don't need a laptop.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to bandwidth because I think the technology is there. It's just the venues need to catch up with the Wi-Fi and even a LAN service or whatever that looks like. And that's what I'm excited about because I think I'm going to be utilizing it as a supplement to start. Like I think that the supplementation is there, especially for a new pop record. You didn't have time to download it. Hey, it's just there. I can just stream it off BeatSource. Boom, boom. Yeah, it's there. So I think that's going to be the huge advantage up front. But then as time goes on, because remember how everybody talks shit about Serato and Final Scratch and all these other ones?
Well, I'll be honest. I was resistant for 2 reasons to switch to Serato. One was I held on to records for a long time before CDs. So I had just kind of finished a year or 2 before Serato converting to CDs. Yeah. And it was the whole I roll, not again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, I want to still have physical copies of the music, and now it doesn't bother me in the slightest that it's all on my computer. Mm-hmm. So I know it's going to be scary. I know there's going to be resistance. I have my biggest issue with it, I think, as someone who is as OCD as I am, is that I make my own edits of almost everything. I mean, I have personal edits. I have...
You've edits of my edits.
Right. I have hundreds probably of edits of the DeVille edit, like the DeVille, the Digital Dave edit of the DeVille edit or the Scooter edit or whatnot. So for me... that's kind of something that I'm like, I always want and need to be able to obtain the original song. And I feel like what BeatSource is doing is cool in a way that you're going to be able to have someone like, you or any of us have a song on there that you can even earn, even if it's small, royalties off of, and it's completely legit and legal. The flip side of it is if you're a no-name, young DJ, but maybe you're someone that's destined to be a DeVille someday, where are you going to get the music to remix, to submit your song, your remix, or your blend or edit for consideration, Because there's some nervousness I have about unintentional gatekeep. It's not intentional gatekeeping, but
the threshold to punch through is a little bit more challenging.
Right. Because I'm sure, however it is, people like us and even Steve and everyone are going to be able to get the songs and get the acapellas and get the instrumentals. But the young unknown DJs, you know, I want to make sure they can get this and have the chance to remix. But then I do have the genuine concern of like, you know, okay, so say you put a dope edit out there. I mean, I know with you could send it to me, but like say it's someone I don't know well and they put a dope edit out there and I want to actually make my own edit of it. How does that, you know, work?
No, there is some floating concerns there. I mean, I think for sourcing, and I think as this evolves, because this is a really important threshold for being 100% legal, because DJs have been dancing in the gray area for so long. And, you know, for the longest time, it was kind of just overlooked because, you know, as DJing started to get bigger, it started to put more heat on the legitimacy of play counts. Because think about that, over the last 20 years of Serato, none of these record labels have any information about how many times we spun a record, which is crazy as far as we know.
I never thought about that.
So it's been in the gray area forever. So now all of a sudden we're at the threshold of now quantification is now a thing again, because like radio spins have declined. Like, so that was always the biggest quantifier that the labels always have had. But now all of a sudden they only have Spotify and just streaming, you know.
Right.
So now the DJs are like the missing link that all of a sudden got plugged back in. So all of a sudden we're going to be able to give them information. And here's my hope is that record labels will see what DJs are feeling and start making more of it. Hey, this trend is hitting. Let's make another one of those records because all these DJs are playing the shit out of it. I hope that's what starts happening because they have the data, because facts don't lie.
Right. Now, the one thing I will say, I know that, are you familiar with Pool, like the promo-only app? So I know that back when they first became an app, I was asked, and I think they originally started with like 1,200 DJs. I don't know if they expanded it. They said, you know, we're going to select a lot of the biggest DJs around the country, and we're going to give you free access to our site. And in exchange, every time you log in, all of your Serato histories will upload to the app. Yeah. And then we share those with the record labels. Yes. So I know, you know, there is some level of record labels having access to it. And I know that
it was kind of fringe. This is the first time it's been mainstream.
Right.
And that's what I'm very curious to see, because this is going to take time. And I think as everybody warms up to the idea of utilizing, because I think CDJs are universally accepted at this point. Everybody knows what a CDJ looks like. Everybody knows how to use it to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. It is the standard in most clubs, almost every club now.
Yeah, I can't.
That's at least the great thing about it is the hardware is accepted and mainstream, and not to mention, not only on Rekordbox, but it is on Serato. There's a built-in BeatSource crate pop down, so you can utilize it that way. So they're hitting it from every angle with the mainstream DJ utilization. And that's where I think it's going to be really interesting. So as the record labels warm up to DJ culture, I think the access points for legit sources, like when you're talking about acapellas, instrumentals, I'm hopeful that will come around in its own way, because stems are doing a great job for the DIY. And I think that's going to be the standard for a while. As much as I hate to admit it, I hate DIY sounding stems unless you're just desperate to make something.
And they're not... I will say, like Serato, I like the fact that Serato has stems, and I think it'll get better. I will say, I don't know if you use any like AI.
Yeah, I use
I'll use like lalal.ai to separate stems, and I feel like I get a much cleaner separation on there than Serato live in the moment pressing the stem button.
I use a different AI for different genres. Each genre, algorithms are better for different genres. So that's where you have to like kind of experiment. I'll make 3 different rips of the same stem pack sometimes and see which one sounds the best based even just for a word I'm looking for. If I just need one word, I duck down on one, but it sounds perfect on
another. That's what makes you a goat, man. That's dope. That's some like I get weird about it. Makes somebody.
Now I have a question for Exile and JD. When you've streamed or you've seen other people stream, are you exclusively playing songs in your locker, or have you streamed songs that are literally you're relying on that Wi-Fi in the moment to stream that song? Like, have you done the whole? I know you can put like 1,000 songs in your.
But are you streaming direct, like live?
Both. So if I have internet, then I stream live, which is great because then, like, say somebody wants country and I don't have a big variety of country. They have a curated country list that I could just log into in my folders right there. And they got a top list and I can just figure it out, right? And then the locker, I've got like maybe 4 playlists right now. It's not big, but I use it for like Stadium Swim. And it's just stuff that I don't have. Like I never downloaded Calvin Harris Blessings.
Yeah.
And I play stuff like that, like more poppy EDM stuff sometimes. And it's great. I mean, there is a little lag, like if you'd never analyze a song for it to analyze on its own. But anything, it takes like 5 seconds.
It's like just
but there's
caches
that,
in.
like, that your heartbeat
because
it's
like buffers out right when it scans out.
Yeah.
So I've seen that too. So I saw a guy literally playing just the Beatport Top 100. He was just skimming through the Beatport Top 100 because it was a crate. He's like, I got all the new shit. Let's go. And he's just playing.
I didn't know they had a locker.
That is what's wrong with DJing.
Yes.
That is what's wrong with DJing.
It's a culture shift, and so I look at it this way. The industry just threw us a new toy, and we got to turn it into a tool.
Right.
And some people are just going to keep it as a toy, and it's a novelty. But eventually, it will be the standard, and it will turn people into superhumans that know how to use it correctly, just like any other technology. We were talking about turntables pushing the limits of a Radio Shack mixer, like how Grandmaster Flash literally invented the crossfader out of necessity, and then all of a sudden it evolved into CDJs, and the James Hypes figured out how to use these mixers and these tools to their maximum potential. Mm-hmm. Somebody will figure out how to utilize streaming on some insane level and access so much music, and somebody's going to be a savant when it comes to programming and take things to another level that you could never do with just a hard drive full of music. Like, hey, you're just pulling things out of nowhere and utilizing it in such a creative way. I think that's going to be the next move, is the creativity through programming in a never before seen way. I'm very hopeful for it, but it's like going from 2-dimensional to 3-dimensional to 4-dimensional. I mean, sometimes it takes your brain a while to understand what the potential is of this whole new breath of fresh air.
Or even just how, after you've been doing it as long as we've been doing this, how you're going to use it. Like how we're going to but what scares me, to just be transparent, what currently scares me, I was at a wedding 2 weeks ago. I was DJing just the after party of this wedding, and they had a band for the wedding. Mm-hmm. And the parent dance songs were father-daughter dance, mother-son dance. Everything else the band played live, but those 2 songs are probably songs they didn't know, so they played them off of Spotify.
Okay.
Middle of the father-daughter dance, I mean, this is easily like a 6-figure wedding. Song starts buffering.
Oh no.
And so that is what still to this point scares me about streaming.
Yeah, and I think that there will be some fail-safes built into this technology as it grows. Yeah, because we're literally guinea pigging this.
Right,
like everybody is.
And you're going to. I feel like for a long time have to have some level of music on your actual laptop always, because God forbid, the Wi-Fi goes out.
Well, that's what they said about Serato. We had to bring your crates with you. Oh, just in case my Serato fails. Eventually.
I never.
Eventually, that will separate.
Well, no, but back in the day though, you had to bring the one record.
With like a funky mix? With
or like everyone had Thriller, because there were so many different songs on it you could play. Yeah. Because back in the day with the SL1 box, you could only use, it only had one USB.
Yeah.
So if you had 2 DJs in the same night, or an opener and a headliner, you had to play a regular record for one song while you switched the USB.
We did aux cord.
Until the genius of figuring out how to daisy chain Serato boxes. Whoever thought that was a genius.
Right.
That was great.
Or I saw DJs, although this made me nervous. I did that I think with DJ Shift in Taboo back in the day. He used the loop roll.
Yeah.
But then it's just
scary.
It's just a beat for so long. And it's like, okay, I'd rather have the actual record.
I forgot about that. End of an era. Thank God.
Nobody knows what an SL, like kids these days.
It's actually a weapon, bro. It's actually a weapon. It's huge. It's like 10 pounds.
I mean, you had to carry it in your bag. It was like another thing that was in your DJ bag. And the laptops were so much thicker at the time.
Back pain. Back pain is real. So, well, I think we're running out of hard drive space on the cameras. So I hate to cut you guys short because I could keep talking for another hour. But, seriously, I really appreciate you guys coming in. Fresh off the plane, Digital Dave. We appreciate you coming in. JD Live, XL, and myself, DJ DeVille. This is Late Night Legends. We'll see you on the next one.
Late Night Legends. Late Night Legends. Direct from Vegas, it's the Late Night Legends. Late Night Legends. Late Night Legends. Club Killers, let's go. Late Night Legends. Late Night Legends. Direct from Vegas, the world famous Club Killers crew.